Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to what's going to be a pretty long video, I think. So, I made a video regarding the New Year's greetings that Naoki Yoshida posted on the Lodestone. Now, that's not the only thing that Naoki Yoshida was doing on the New Year's itself. What he did is he went to all the different Japanese servers and basically just took Q&A in the game itself. He just, like, if someone asked him a question, he just typed something out, whatever. And, thanks to the translators that are in the Reddit comment section, we've got a lot of that translated. So specifically for this post, looking at 14th Wanderer right here, he made a post that compiles all of the Q&A that has been translated, at least, from the Chocobo server and the Ultima server. Now there's, again, all the other servers are there. I think we have to split this up into multiple videos because it's way too much information for me to cover in one. So let's just shut up and get started. So we have... the new gear in the Sigma raid will be the Diamond Series. I've seen some people think that means Diamond Weapon, it means 7 confirmed. Diamond Series is more popular in like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 7 has like 1 diamond piece, a tiara, and 10 has a targe. And then it exists in the other games to some degree, but the whole concept of diamond armor is more of an old school armor set. Final Fantasy IV is a big one, and I'm still of the idea that the 4 fiends from Final Fantasy IV, Cagnazzo and crew, I'll just shorten that, will be the bosses there. So that's where I'm betting it from. I don't remember what the armor looks like per se, but hopefully it doesn't look like crap. They're not telling us about the new job. Working on Rival Wings adjustments. We'll actually cover that in some of the later Q&A. Sam and Monk are going to get some help with Enmity, but they don't say when. Diversion alone's not enough. I can somewhat agree with that. If a tank is actively trying to improve their own numbers, it does get really close if you don't have really good shirks or you don't have a ninja presence. So, yeah, Samurai and Monk should get something to help their enmity issues that they're having right now, at least with the way that tanks are currently optimizing their gameplay and endgame content. So, that's a good thing to hear. There's going to be adjustments to Gatherer and Crafter leveling in 4.2. Pretty straightforward concept. I will pass. Somebody asked a question about the mount BGM. The question itself doesn't look like it's actually translated here, or it's just the answer on this end. So again, don't if it's not a perfect translation, sorry if the question's not there. Something about pass about mounts BGM suggestion to the sound team. So there's quite a few suggestions that could be. I know some people aren't happy that the Carbuncle mount, for example, doesn't have the right mount BGM. So not sure exactly what the question is there, but some sort of mount BGM suggestion. Sigma Savage will release immediately on 4.2 launch. That means there will not be a 2-week gap between normal and Savage. This is kind of what we've grown to expect from the 0.2 and 0.4 patches, but it's just good to get hard confirmation because they have started doing things slightly differently. Sigma Savage and Sigma Normal will be on the same day, so factor that in if you're thinking about progressing, and think about your gear upgrades that you're getting from normal mode before you get any crafted gear. Job adjustment info will be in the next live letter, and it won't be released entirely until it's final, so please wait. There will be a game called Fashion Check in 4.2. That almost sounds like the way that they spoke about the NPCs from the new Crafted Gathering thing. I haven't done it much. I didn't really do Monago's one. I did the one prior to that. But it reminds me of that, where the NPC said they would judge your would judge your gear or the way you looked a specific way. So I'm wondering if it's the implementation of that specifically. We'll have to wait and see. No plans to implement a login bonus. Achievements are currently too simple, but they do plan on making something different. This is good. A lot of people have asked for more robust raid and dungeon achievements, so people have these micro goals to work on in between patches, and it's something I completely agree on and hope that they will execute on very well. Please tell us about the 15 collab. There's nothing to say yet. All right, I'm just residing that we're never getting it. Moving on. Will you add new PvP skills? Considering it, but not set in stone. Boss fates are too painful to complete if there's not enough people doing them, and he wants to make adjustments to them eventually. It's on the list to do specifically for the boss fates, but nothing right now, at the very least. Any plan on fairy glamours? And he says, no, fairies aren't eggies, so no. That's rude. That's brutal. That's cold, man. But you heard the man himself. So then he had done a little bit of raiding, and he still answered a few more questions here. When will you allow us to exchange the Lakshmi and Susanoo totems for mounts? And they're trying to decide if it'll be 4.2 or later. So might be 4.2, might not be. Let's see. Will we be able to dye AF3? People are referring to the gear you get at level 70 when you complete the level 70 job quest. And he said, yes, of course, but the method is still a secret. I still think that gear is going to play a role in Eureka, the Forbidden Land, as our relic armor, and it'll be upgraded. That's a theory at this point, but that little secret thing, it either means we're getting an augmented thing like we had in 2.x for the first AF set, or for me it means Eureka. We'll have to wait and see, though, so please speculate. Will you add more dungeons for the command missions? 4.2 will add 3 new dungeons. We know what one of them is. One of them's Copper Bell Hard Mode. They're going to have to make a lot of adjustments to AI, and they said that they did. They said they did make a lot of adjustments to the AI so that it would, I guess, function. I can't imagine doing Copper Bell Hard Mode with the current AI, especially if you're a tank on the last boss. Let's see. How many plots will be added? They're not giving us any details about housing yet. We want Tonfa as a monk. It's not possible. I want to wear hats and glasses at the same time. They've asked this question a million times. He said maybe when we get to the PS5 version of the game. Maybe. Good joke. How's the chat app going along? Their releases around between 4.2 and 4.3 for the chat app itself. Waiting for the bike mount. He says he's waiting. He wants to implement it, and he's looking into it. He wants to find a way to make that cloud bike happen. And I get enough motorcycles in California. I don't want it. That if it ends up in the game, enjoy it. It's not a mount, but can we have wings on our character? This has been a question for a long time. Wings to fly, basically as your mount. And he says they tried to experiment it with it didn't go well. So probably not at the very least. I would like to increase furniture capacity, but please wait a little bit longer. I want to make something promoting frontline matching, like the weekly. This is the thing he mentioned where like you get a bonus from playing a certain one each week. And I'm a fan of the idea because I love Seal Rock, and I'm not a big fan of the 2 latest modes, so I'm a fan of that. Adjustments to treasure maps in 4.2, but doesn't go into more specifics. I believe in the Q&A on Gungnir, he goes into more detail about what might happen with that. Seems to have a plan about the fat cat, something about it. He mentions in a different one about the fat cat, about how it's a kitty, but it doesn't know how to, it can't grow anymore. So I don't know if there's actual changes coming to that or not. Planning various things for official tournaments and live for PvP. So if you're a PvPer, that's good to know. More info from the Ultima server. Oh, so now we're moving on to the Ultima server. That is the next bit of details. Black mages will simply get buffed, and players will also be able to work around certain situations with small tweaks. But it's difficult to explain how the buff will be for people who don't main black mage. People are still speculating what this will be. We'll know more on January 19th about that one in particular. What happened to free company alliances? Still on the table, but it'll take some time. In other words, it's right up there next to roaming primals, probably. How hard will Omega Sigma Savage be? It'll be about the same as Delta Savage. I expected that. Ultimate's going to be the hardcore, and the other raid tier Savage is going to be more for the middle core. With the final fight, of course, in each tier being what should be considered the most difficult fight of the tier. We did hear that they wanted the tiers to get progressively harder, but with the way that I can guarantee you, anyone who did Ultimate won't find Savage nearly as challenging. But the fights are going to probably still be fun. So fingers crossed we just don't get anything like A9 Savage or O1 Savage ever again. O5 Savage is going to be like O1 Savages. Let's just not go there. Any plan for long ponytails? Depending on how you consider long, it's hard to adjust the physic and clipping. Since veteran rewards are now easy to obtain, are there any plans for long-time players? We are still discussing it. Maybe some memorial item? Can we have hairstyles saved on the gear set, considering it for the future? Any plan to lift the job restrictions for old gears like the Dark Light set? They do have plans to gradually lift the job restrictions on them. So a lot of Q&A here. And honestly, considering we're so starved for information waiting for the live letter, even some of the simpler questions here, because they're in such a high volume, I can actually appreciate this being the timing to get those questions that during a live letter or, you know, I don't know, like a PAX East or a PAX West, where you're like, probably could have asked about something else that wasn't Peaches. But, you know, this seems like the right place to go about asking for it. So, these are just 2 of the servers, though. I believe we're still waiting on translations from the Shinryu server, and I think we have almost completed translations for Gungnir, Masamune, and Ramuh. So, I'll go through those in the next video, but it's so much information that I should probably cut this one here and get started on that one separately. So we'll consider that part 2 of going through all this information. So thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and discuss what you see here, and be on the lookout for part 2 with the other Japanese servers, at least whichever ones are translated at this point. But thank you for watching. Twitch, you're here watching live, so we got one more to record. Let's get to it. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care. You better like it, Creaky.